In general, what I'm trying to say is we're going through a shift right now that might fundamentally alter the idea of how work works. The point I'm trying to make is these two things, making friends online and then doing work online, are not disconnected from each other. The same way that making friends has drastically changed over the last 1 year, the exact same thing is happening to jobs. It's happening to work. And the way that's happening might fundamentally alter our perception and idea of work, which is today, this idea of a 5-day work week and a 2-day weekend, it hasn't been around forever, right? It sort of feels like the weekend, dude. The weekend is such a normal part of our life. But do you believe this? The weekend was invented by someone. The weekend is not a natural human thing. It was just invented by someone. And it was invented by someone a couple of 100 years ago. I think maybe around the industrial. As far as I know, the weekend was invented because when factories started, workers would get overworked, right? They would have 6 or 7 days that would be working. Eventually, they realized that it might be more economical. Like there are economic gains to saying 2 days of the week for the whole city or whatever, whole country, are days where we don't work, right? That becomes the days. And there was a very economic reason for introducing weekends because that's also where you would go out and buy stuff, right? You would spend your money, you would go out with the family, you would go to establishments. If you're working all the time, you can't spend money. So the weekend was invented by someone, but it was invented in a time that was very different from today. It was invented in a time when there was no internet, right? In general, what I'm trying to say is we're going through a shift right now that might fundamentally alter the idea of how work works. Right? Today, we sort of see it as part-time, full-time, or we see it as freelance or full-time, freelance, part-time, full-time. But we're going to see these kinds of hybrids, these hybrid approaches. And I don't want to, of course, tell you all of this today itself. We can do one dedicated thing dedicated to work. But working online is going to become very similar to just hanging out online. I saw this tweet where somebody was like, my daughter or my son asked me, what are you doing on Slack? Like, what is Slack? And they said, is it like a Discord server where you guys talk about work? Imagine that. Imagine that, right? The generation who's coming up, imagine their model of the world when they're born into it rather than seeing it evolve.